Good evening, everybody. This is DFS Chan on January 16th, and happy MLK Day for those of you who are celebrating tomorrow, a holiday. Um, Given that, we have a two-game slate, LPL slate. Unfortunately, LCK will be done until Wednesday again, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday. I think Wednesday. But yeah, so we still have League of Legends every day in China. So let's dive in. And today is gonna be probably gonna be a pretty chalky slate. Obviously there are four teams playing tonight in two games, but as you can see in the odds, there's Thunder Talk on the slate and then anyone's legend on the slate. So let's dive in. Yeah. So I think most importantly, people probably watch this on a slate like this, interested in finding out which one would be more bloody and have more kill upside and higher combined kills per minute. So I'll kind of try to analyze that, kind of navigate you guys through my thought process, and then kind of come to a conclusion. Whether you agree, you agree with me or not. Yeah, please feel free to share your thoughts as well. But yeah, so the first matchup is RNG versus TT Thunder Talk. Thunder Talk has been the worst team in China so far. They've been so bad that they brought in these two new players from Korea, but they're not playing today. Thunder Talk will have the same players from last few games that they have lost in. As you can see, new Frigid, Captain, Puff, and Southwind. It is the worst starting lineup and the worst team in China so far. I know in LCK, like we joke about Fred and Breon's roster is pretty bad talent wise, but they play well as a team. But Thunder Talk, they're not playing well as a team, so they really have nothing going on, nothing going for them. There's probably not a single reason why you should pick Thunder Talk tonight, but I will still objectively look at the data and see if there is any reason why we should pick Thunder Talk over RNG. So RNG is starting the same five. Obviously, this is a stacked roster. This will be a good opportunity. I was going to say a challenge or a test for RNG, but it's not going to be much of that. It's more of an opportunity for them to kind of polish their team synergy and everything. Starting with Ben, and he's the new guy coming from Suning, now Weibo Gaming. He's joined RNG to make the super team here. Bin Wei, Xiaohu. Xiaohu moved from top to mid lane, as you guys know, and Gala and Ming. And they've been playing well. They've been playing much better the last couple games. So I fully expect RNG to win here. Kind of going, with the odds that this is indicating at minus 4,000 as the favorite. And then the next game is Anyone's Legend versus FPX. Let's look at their roster as well. First, the favorite in FPX. Xiao Liao Hu, Beichuan, Gory, LWX, and Hang. I actually thought starting Gory here in the first couple games for FPX would hurt them a lot because of the language barriers, but actually it hasn't been much of an issue just based on what I've seen so far. Beichuan is actually a really good jungler, has been a really good jungler this season. Obviously, FPX made a huge signing in Klid from Korea, from Genji. He used to play for, but Beichuan has been starting, every game so far. And I think there were some like quarantine and COVID issues with Klid. So Beichuan has been starting, but I mean, I think he's gonna keep starting if they keep winning, right? So he's been playing well. Gory has been playing well. And then I think LWX has been playing much better as well with these other guys and other lanes putting pressure on. LWX doesn't have to do a whole lot of everything. So I think he's been playing better. And Hang has been a really good support for LWX as well. And Xiao Liao, who actually has the potential to blow up, he can be an aggressive top laner. And so yeah, we'll look at the data together to see what kind of kill share percentage and kill participation percentage he has after this. Anyone's Legend has been playing okay. Maple is starting today instead of Forge, I believe. Yeah, instead of Forge. So Maple, as you guys may know, he is a veteran. He's been around the league for a while. But but I don't know if he's a huge upgrade over Forge. I do think he's an upgrade just based on how poorly Forge has been playing this season so far. And I don't even know what the synergy is like between Xiao Hao and Maple. I know Xiao Hao is a good jungler. Not the best jungler, not an elite jungler, but he's a really good jungler in the LPL. So I'm excited to see how that meshes there. I do think Gory is better than Maple, so I'm not a huge concerned about Gory losing the lane against Maple. And then Beichuan obviously has been playing well over Xiao Hao. I think in terms of like the early game pressure as a jungler. So I do think FPX should win, but I do think Anyone's Legend is better than Thunder Talk. So obviously, for GPP, I do think they are viable. But I do think today is going to be a chalky slate with two favorites winning in both games respectively. So let's actually look at some data. This is the website that I go to, Oracle Elixir, where I go to team stats and then go to LPL Spring. And then let's look at let's look at the first matchup first. Royal Never Give Up. And then Thunder Talk. The first metric that I look at is the jungle control percentage. As you guys may know from watching my videos, I truly believe that this is one metric that is more valuable than any other metric, only because it's a team game, and I feel like a player who plays the jungling position has the most responsibility to kind of help the other laners going and putting pressure on the map. So I do think it controls a lot of objectives and map pressure and everything. So yeah, so RNG has about 6.3% advantage over Thunder Talk, given how many games they played, 6 games each. So as you can see, the Thunder Talk 0-6, RNG 3-3. They've been coming alive, RNG, like I said, in better form lately, but they have a jungling control advantage, lane control advantage, slightly though, 30% Baron control rate, Dragon control rate, First Blood, gold spent, positive over negative for Thunder Talk. So this is the metric that we look at. So let me take a note here. So RNG, TT, CKPM, so it's name for combined kills per minute. RNG is 0.69. It's pretty slow compared to Thunder Talk is pretty fast. So I do think let me average this. What is that? Average 0.85 plus 0.69 divided by 2, 0.77. So that's pretty slow, actually. I do think RNG is going to dictate the pace as a favorite, huge favorite. So maybe they'll play a little bit slower, but obviously playing against Thunder Talk increases that kill upside. So 0.77 is not that great. So let's look at the other matchup. AL, Anyone's Legend, and FPX. So they've each played 5 games. Okay, so that's a good sample size so far. FPX has a jungle control percentage advantage over 8.6%. 8.6%. 8.6%. What was the RNG Thunder Talk? I'm sorry, let me go back real quick. 6.3. Okay. That's interesting because you would think RNG's jungle control percentage advantage would be bigger over Thunder Talk, who's been the worst team, compared to FPX's over Anyone's Legend. So maybe Anyone's Legend has a decent jungle control percentage. Yeah, 46.9. How much was Thunder Talk? 41. Yeah. So, and then okay, so RNGs is not that great either. So like this shows you how well Beichuan has been playing for FPX. I mean, you can see the clear distinction in FPX, clear superiority over the other three teams that are on the slate. So FPX gets a huge boost for me. So that's very interesting. Okay, and then let's look at the lane control. See, Anyone's Legend has a better lane control percentage, which is very surprising because I do think, actually, no, not really, because FPX's roster that they don't really scare me in just in the laning phase. I think Ori is good, but not the best laner. And then LWX, yeah, I mean, and then Xiao Liaohu against ZDZ. Yeah, so I don't know. So I do think that's an interesting observation. I do think Anyone's Legend has some advantage here. But every single other metric, maybe except for first blood rate, Anyone's Legend has the advantage there. Let's see, in gold spent percentage difference, FPX has advantage there. And CKPM, all right, FPX as a favorite, 0.84, slower than Anyone's Legend. Wow, 1.05. Holy crap. So average CKPM would be five. So yeah, as you can see, FPX versus Anyone's Legend has the higher combined kills per minute on average by a lot, by a very significant amount, compared to 0.95 versus 0.77. So, and then FPX, Beichuan has been playing really well. So Beichuan actually would not be the uh worst captain idea, obviously, on the 2-game slate. I mean, AD carry, mid laner, and jungler are viable, obviously, captain wise. And then let me see the top laners, Xiaolahu, and then Ben. Yeah, I mean, they're viable too. So let's look at each player's stats real quick. And then first of all, I want to see who they have played against so far. So maybe I'll just do this. Sofa score. That's another just like a live score website that I see that I check out for scores. So here I'll go to LPL and then I'll go to see who has everybody played. Okay. So teams that are on the slate today, RNG played against FPX and they lost. I know that was a close match, close series. And then so that's a worthy matchup for RNG. So they got tested there. And then Anyone's Legend playing against LGD, who's not that great this season. So AL won 2-1. And then Thunder Talk lost to IG 2-0. FPX beat LGD, who, like I said, wasn't that great. So FPX won. So FPX, LG, and AL are they're playing against each other, right? Yeah, so they have a common opponent. That's interesting over LGD. So AL play against LGD 2-1, 1-2-1. FPX played against LGD 2-0. But I do want to see what the score was for these games. So 2-1. AL lost 31-14. Oh wait, I remember that game. That I picked the LGD to upset this anyone's legend in this series. So I felt really good after game one, but then they ended up losing the last two games. 15 kills, 18 kills. And it looks like so that was pretty dominant. But then FPX, oh, that's a pretty close game. And then they dominated in the second game. So that's interesting. I do think FPX is better than anyone's legend. So anyway. And anyone's legend lost to OMG, but then OMG has been probably up and coming team. They've won a lot of games, especially including this morning's. So they are obviously good. So that was a good, probably. I mean, that was a tough loss, but OMG is a good team. RNG beat JDG. JDG is not that great either. Thunder Talk lost to EDG 2-0. Yeah, so nothing much. I mean, I think the only interesting observation, like I said, was the LGD common opponent thing between FPX and anyone's legend. So anyway. All right, let's look at the player stats. That'll be the last thing I'll do before I make some conclusions, key takeaways. So let's look at the RNG since they're the biggest favorite. So player stats is where I go to kind of look at their kill participation percentage and kill share percentage. And I kind of wanted to take you guys through as to what I'll look at. And I want to be transparent about everything because, I do want to help you guys win. And I hope that you guys find this video very helpful. And if you do, please, like the video here below this and then hit the subscribe button. That would help us a lot. And that'll be the reason why I'll keep making these videos for free. So Wei, their jungler, has the highest kill participation percentage, and then Gala and Ming, so the bottom lane duo. And then Xiaohu, and then Bin, 41% is pretty bad. But then I think I said this the other day on the other video that the game developer, Riot Games, has changed the way that people can teleport around the map in the early game, like before, for the first like 14 minutes, I believe. They cannot teleport onto like a minion or a ward. So basically, they kind of limited the ways that each laner can teleport around the map. That obviously limits their ability to kind of put pressure around the map and participate in team fights around objectives or in the other lanes that they're not part of. So obviously that limits the mid laner and the top laners kill participation percentage and also their fantasy point upside. So I thought that was an interesting observation. So that obviously plays a factor in as to why these are kind of lower than usual. So like I said, I would not prioritize mid laner or top laner unless they have a really high kill participation percentage or kill share percentage. So in RNG's case, that's not the case in either one of them. And then kill share percentage, Gala, they are AD carry, clearly the alpha at 34.6%, and then jungler. So Wei is probably a must for me tonight because he leads. He's the first in kill participation, and then the second in kill share, and then same for Gala. Gala is the second in kill participation along with Ming, and then first in kill share by more than 10%. So those two guys that would be my staple for RNG. And then Xiao, who is probably an interesting one to make a decision on because, like, would you rather have Ming because he has a high kill participation, or would you have Xiao because he has a third highest kill share percentage, right? I do think Ben is a great player, but like I said, just given the meta of the game and given how low his kill participation and kill share percentage have been. Unlike his kill share percentage for Suning when he used to play for Suning was really high because he would get a lot of solo kills and everything and teleport in and gets a lot of kills that way. But just given the meta, I think Ben should not be the priority in my opinion. And I know some people like to play the top stacks like top laner captain, like Ben captain or the FPX Xiao who captain, but I would not stack those players today, just given how low these metrics have are for Ben. So that's why I would kind of shy away from that. Let's look at the other favorite in FPX. FPX's 5 games they played, so it's a pretty good sizable sample. LWX and Gory and Beichuan, so they are all over 70% and Hang, except for Xiaoliao, who's I mean at 63.9%. That's pretty good. So compared to Ben, who we saw earlier, as to 41%. So that's obviously really low. And Xiaoliao, who is actually is pretty good compared to Ben. So if you have to choose between these two, Xiaoliao and Ben, obviously I would choose Xiaoliao, but Ben is a more popular and well-known top laner, so I do think his ownership is going to be higher than Xiaoliao's. So that will be interesting. Maybe some leverage that you can have there. The rest of FPX's lineup, kill share percentage, Xiaoliao, this is what I'm talking about earlier, that even though he's a top laner, look at his kill share percentage. That is very impressive. I'll say it again. That is very impressive. So FPX, Xiaoliao is probably my must. They play 5 games. And like I said, this is a sizable sample, and he's at 30, almost at 35% kill share percentage as a top laner without teleport in the first 14 minutes. I mean, that is amazing. So I'm just so impressed. And so yeah, he's probably gonna be my must for FPX. So yeah, so that's and then the second it goes from Gory and the LWX, a traditional mid laner, AD carry. Beichuan, even though his kill participation is pretty high at 73.6%, and his control rate has been really high for that team. He's a really good jungler, but the metrics are not that great as an elite jungler. Like he's not the one who carries the team on his back in terms of kills and assists. I think he does that around the map just objectively, like using objectives and everything, securing objectives, putting pressure on the map, around the map. And then let's look at anyone's legend, because I feel like maybe in some deep GPPs that people are going to play them. As you see, Forge is being subbed out for Maple today. And he was team's first kill participation percentage person. So that's interesting. And he was I just want to see whether that would be an upgrade, for Maple over Forge today. But kill participation, first kill share percentage is pretty high, 20%. So, and then he was dying, not too bad compared to other laners. Damage per minute, he was doing pretty well, second on the team. And looks like he was actually playing pretty well, like compared to other players on that team. So I do not think Maple starting is a huge upgrade. So, it'll be interesting. But kill share percentage wise for this underdog, Betty and Xiao Hao are probably my 2 top guys. I do think Maple will probably average around 20% as well, like Forge, or maybe somewhere between 15 and 20% for Maple. So I would still prioritize Betty and Xiao Hao if I were to stack anyone's legend players. So anyway, so yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. It's a very chalky slate, but I do think the FPX versus anyone's legend will be a closer match, but I do think it will be more bloody than RNG TT games. So, you know, given what for what it's worth, I would prioritize FPX's players in an optimal lineup, and then maybe short stack RNG. But there will be a lot of players who prioritize RNG because they have the best chance to win too. So, if you think anyone's legend will take it to game 3 somehow, then maybe RNG will be a better choice for a long stack, given the game not played bonus, 20-point bonus for each player. But I'm probably gonna go with FPX long stack because of the metrics that we just looked at and their better jungle control percentage. So I do think they're gonna win 2-0. Anyway, all right. Well, hope you guys had fun watching this video. And if you guys, like I said, like the video, please hit the like button or subscribe to our channel. That'd be great. Thanks so much. Have a good one.